third goal. I don't think we're. I don't remember the third goal. One of those goals not strong around our neck. You know, just getting multiple whacks at the puck. It's just. It's not how you're gonna win games playing like that.
It's disappointing, especially you got off to a good start.
Yeah, I mean, Obi scores on a first goal and our first shot of the game. You know, we're off in a good spot and off and running. You know, we didn't follow it up as much. You know, it should have been a real spark for us. We didn't follow it up with anything. So, you know, we just kind of took the game over after a while. It was, we got again. You get what you deserve in the last two games.
Was it, I mean, and it seems like what's been going on around your own net is the opposite of what everyone's been talking about. Not sort of picking up those loose pucks in those loose players.
What, they're capitalizing on loose pucks and we aren't. I mean, that's pretty much how it's going on. And, you know, we're coming to a key point in the season and we got to make sure we're all aware of that. You know, it's time to start throwing the switch toward playoffs. So you're going to be playing well. We're just kind of sloughing our way. It's like we're waiting for something to happen. I don't know, waiting for something. So, I mean, we're going to enter the toughest part of our season here, and it's going to be a real indicator if we're going to be a serious contender or not. Quite honestly, if we're going to come out and play well on this trip and make the commitment to play well, then we've got our work cut out for us and decide if we're serious or not.
There's a real danger to waiting too long.
Yeah, I don't know what you're waiting for. That's the thing. I mean, there's a lot to play for. I mean, there's players, as individuals, as a team. I mean, there's a lot. You know, every game is important. You can't sit and wait and say that other games aren't important. And points don't count. Points don't matter. Those are huge points are left on the table the last two games. 4 points. Where you should have scraped out at least 2 and you know, even if you lose in an overtime or a shootout, you got to scrape out 2 here. The ones that cost you, I don't know. We don't feel threatened, or we're just kind of watching the standings, locked in a certain spot or something. I don't know. There's not a lot of urgency. We got to find it because this road trip could really, you know, it could be great or it could be an absolute embarrassment.
Do you feel like this team is closer to the team we saw last weekend, or the team we saw the last 2 games?
No, still. We're doing it still close to last weekend. You know, I'm not gonna say that we're having a problem. I mean, we're going through a lull. Maybe it's the competition. Maybe you just see the West Coast teams and you know you let it slide or whatever, and you let your game slide.
Second period was when they really started to wrestle the effort game away from you guys. Did you notice that? What did you see at the start of the second?
Yeah, we just, for whatever reason, stopped working. We get comfortable. We've been getting a little bit too comfortable in a bunch of these games, and it's you know, like I said, we know what we're doing, and their team plays the same way for 60 minutes, and our team didn't tonight. So it's just something that happens. That's hockey, I guess, but we never like to see it.
How disappointing is this? You know, have a game like this and a game like the Sharks game before you guys go on a big road trip?
It's very disappointing. We obviously wanted to win this game really bad. We wanted to win last game really bad, and you don't want to go on the plane now for whatever it is, 3.5, 4 hours, and think about what we could have done, what we should have done. And so it's incredibly frustrating. But the only way to redeem ourselves is a good road trip. It's a lot of games, so we got a chance to try to make up some ground.
Who spoke up after the game? Mike Simmons had a little chat.
Yeah, it was everybody. Everybody chimed in. You know, of course, the older guys who have been around, but everybody had a few things to say. We just want to make sure we're on the same page here. And I think that's the meeting. You need to have meetings throughout the year, and it was obviously a time to have a good one after that loss.
Sort of the feeling that they're waiting for something to flip some switch, and is there a danger where they might be waiting a little too long to find it?
Well, I mean, it never happens where you just flip a switch and it goes. It comes from the beginning of the game to the end of the game of working your rear end off. And so if they're waiting for some switch to magically appear, it's not going to happen.
Bruce, when you called that time out, you was talking to your team. What was the message? What was the message there?
Well, the message was basically about pride. I wanted to call one before that, when it was 2-1, and then I wanted to get one before the whistle, and then they made it 3-1. And so I wanted to wait another shift and then call it, and then they made it 4-1. So I said I had had to do it, but it's about, you know, we talked about it. It's 1-1 game going into the third. All we have to do is outwork them in the first, got outworked in the second, and all we had to do was outwork them in the third to start a tough road trip. And they looked like they were already thinking about what's going on in the sun, and that was basically the message.
The power play has 5 goals in the last month and a half. What do you guys need to do to turn that around?
It's a magical question. I wish I knew. Right now, I mean, we're talking, but we practiced it more in the last month than we did all of last year. It's the same guys. I mean, but the number one thing you have to do is win battles. And I mean, every loose puck they got. Every time there was a one-on-one situation, they got it. And you know, I mean, the only time we had success is when we had a couple chances, I thought, when we put King, Steckel, and Bradley out there. It's because they won battles, and it was only for 25 seconds, but they shot the puck. I mean, there's no secrets. People think there's secrets, but this is the same group of guys that were 26% last year, and for the most part, you know, take away Thomas Fleischman and Brendan Morrison, you know, you know, that was the best power play in the league, and now they're, you know, I mean, gradually getting as low as you can go. So I mean, we watch more video and do more work on this thing. It's we've changed everything around half a dozen times, so we'll see. You know, it's very perplexing.
Is there anything you can do as a coach, motivational? I mean, at this point, do you take ice time away? Do you, I mean, it seems like you're running out of options at this point.
Yeah, I mean, ice time is the next thing. I mean, I was trying to send a message in the last, I mean, it was too late in the last 6 or 7 minutes by not playing a couple guys. But in the end, our best players have to be our best players, or we're not going to win. It's good to send a message and take ice time away, but you can't do it on a consistent basis. You got to do it, and then, you know, hopefully they get it, and when they get it, you know, and then hopefully it turns around. I mean, because in the end, those guys that you're taking the ice time away have got to be better than their best players, or we're not going to be successful. The role players, they're role players. They do a good job. But I mean, it's our top guys. I mean, when you're scoring 1 goal a game, 1.5 goals a game, and it has nothing to do with the system. No matter what anybody's thinking out there, it's because you're not paying the price to do the little things to get goals.
How disappointed is it to have a game like this after you had 3 days off since the last game in before a long road trip?
It's really disappointing. I mean, yeah, that's hopefully this is as low as we get. You know, I mean, we had one low point this year, but I even think that right now, I mean, this was something that we were counting on as a coaching staff, at least, to come in, win this game as a springboard for a tough road trip.
Did you address the players after the game, or was that a players only?
As players. I was going to come in, and I had talked to somebody earlier about it, and he said, "Let me go in and say something." So I let them.
At this point, does it have to be then? Is it good that it's their meeting and them saying and holding themselves accountable?
Well, I mean, they better be holding themselves accountable. I mean, we're all accountable in this organization, and it's. But sometimes some players get free passes, and you know, and it's we can't afford to have any free passes right now. We're in 26 games left, and we're a desperate situation for a lot of teams. So every team we play is in a desperate situation, as are we. You know, if we want to get to where we want to get to.